So full frame 50, full frame
28.
28, so 18 on the Fuji.
Yeah.
Now this is the layering master coming in.
No,
looking for details.
No.
And this is. I thought that was me then. But the layering in this, the red and everything. You must be happy with that. That's a good shot.
No, it's okay.
I'm stood in exactly the same place, getting completely different shots.
Yeah, but it's a 50, so
I know, yeah.
different. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, the difference. I'm blaming my gear on this occasion. So the difference the field of view makes is for getting that sort of shot is absolutely incredible. I really like that photograph. Ed's sort of interest in layering though just makes him see that style of photograph over and over again. And I just wouldn't have taken that photograph. I wouldn't have thought to use a wider field of view there. So many things are going on and it's just like where to look. You could literally take 1,000 photographs and walk in, I don't know, 100 yards. It's just absolutely bonkers. Really, really exciting though. Just so many colours, people doing interesting things, quirky characters. It's just interesting. And with street photography, if you're not photographing an interesting subject, what are you photographing? It's just, it's huh?
You're on fire talking now.
Yeah, is somebody shut up?
No, it's okay. Yeah. I like to see that. For me, it really became something more normal. You know, I've been here for more than a year, so it's already more like I'm used to this. For you, it's nice to see like it's like a kid. Like,
yeah, this is so exciting. It's so exciting. It's so different. Show us your magic. That's superb. Good, the background's perfect. That was fast. You've seen that fast. Hey, spot on. Now, because it's super bright. F16, F11?
Yeah, F16, F11. Like, I'm keeping now it's 800 ISO. I'd rather keep more things in focus.
Yeah.
But actually, there's absolutely no noise in the brighter part of the image. You know, no noise at all.
No.
But it's allowing me to all.
So where do you leave because you're manually focusing, aren't you?
Yeah, I leave at 2 meters. Then everything from pretty much at F11, F16, pretty much everything is in focus. So basically, I keep my ISO at 800 now, my shutter speed at 500 of a second to freeze the moment to be sure. Sometimes I'm gonna bump it at maybe 1,000 of a second.
500 of a second, yeah.
Yeah, 500 of a second. Maybe if there are many kids in the scene, I bump up to 1,000 of a second to be sure that I'm gonna freeze the movement. If there is pigeons and stuff like that.
But again, just literally ignoring what your ISO says.
Yeah, and then, I will move the aperture according to the light available. So sometimes F16, sometimes F11, F8, but I try to be above F8 all the time.
Notice the way you shoot though, it involves a lot more running around. Because you've obviously got to get really close to your subject. Well, not close to the van.
Not that close.
Not that close. And you spotted them guys loading the clothes out the van like really fast, and then you were over there before I realised where you were and what you'd seen. And I noticed, I thought, flipping heck, you got over there fast. So you obviously had to run for it. So when you see
I didn't run, but I just got.
You got there quick.
Like quick, you know.
So when you see the scene, you've got to be there instantly, ain't you?
I try to be as close as possible, so I had to walk fast. You know, I see this, but yeah, I just wonder something interesting, something that you don't see that often.
Yeah.
That's all.
And then interaction with people in it.
Yeah, interaction with people. Now, actually, my mindset is about hands. I have a little idea of making like a lot of handwork. Yeah, but they're in the shade, you know.
Oh yeah, you've got to have the light. Yeah. That's a good question. So like, you wouldn't shoot anything in the shade.
No, I shoot things in the shade, but if everything is in shade, if there's so much things like in the highlights, then I'm gonna have the highlights are gonna be burned. Yeah. So I rather keep my subject of interest in the highlights, and then everything that I don't want in the picture is just keep it in the shadow. So I can somehow elevate the mundane.
Yeah.
But it's way easier to work with layers when you have a contrasted light, because you can hide things in the shadows that you don't want to be in the frame. So, or use the shadows to guide the lines.
That's it, like you just did with that there.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really nice corner.
Yeah.
Because obviously with what I think a lot of people struggle when they're starting on layered photographs is your eye has to go around interesting.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of people when start making layer have the mistake that just they want a lot of people in the picture, but it has to be a meaning behind it. So there has to be many little stories within the picture. So if you have just a lot of people in the frame, but nobody's doing something interesting, you just have it looks like a pure scenario. There's no like tension. You need some tension, something going on, something.
So you walk around looking for fights. Touched his nose and he did actually move. It's one of them.
I'll buy all his bagels.
Stick a quid in it, see if they move. I don't know that one either.
Alex Webb.
Yeah. I need to,
Alice Webb?
No,
you don't know?
No.
You don't like the so you don't know Alice Webb?
I need to do my research more.
Oh man, you need to.
I know nothing.
There's some photographer called Sam Abel. He works for he worked for the National Geographic. He said you have to have like a commitment with the layers. Like you find a background. You first commit to this background.
You find like a scene first.
Like a scene first, and then you just wait there. Like you just hang out around to start because you have to read the moment of people. Like, okay, this is coming here, this one is coming here. Like maybe you find a moment where I mean, at the beginning I was waiting a lot for the scenes, but now I try to be fast and quick. And as soon as the people start noticing me, my presence, I just walk away.
Because I noticed you said that you don't focus, so obviously you're using a wide angle lens.
Some focus.
Yeah, zone focusing.
Yeah.
So have you got like a go-to? You're like 2 meters, infinity. What
yeah, I pretty much guess the distance with the people.
Oh, you guess where you can use it.
Yeah, I just set refocus 2 meters, and then I try to keep the 2-step distance from the people, and then I just walk in circles around the people to get the like. But I use a lot of I found something is called figure ground relationship. So basically, every shape of a person or things have to be recognizable, not too much overlapping.
No, you have to have that clarity, don't you?
Yeah. So if it is a shadow of a person, it has to be really recognizable, very clear. You know, if it's a person, it has to be like nothing, not too much overlapping, so that it's easier to read the picture.
Yeah. Do you think the light? I mean, obviously it adds a new dynamic, but do you think the light influences whether or not a layered scene is even possible? Because that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That dark foreground going into.
That helps you a lot.
Yeah.
You can hide things in the shadows, so you can play a lot with the good light. With the good light, it's really easy to layer. So when the light is not good, I always go for the 50 because it's a little bit more compressed. It's much easier to compose. But I base my decision about what to use in the street more like about my mood and the light available.
That's interesting. So your mood affects what you're going to do anyway.
Yeah.
I've always wondered that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I go between the 28 and the 50 equivalent, and usually I base more my decision on which lens to use based on my mood, based on the light available than the look I want. Because I can get closer. Like if I use it on 28, I can as close as I.
So your mood would say, I feel like getting a layered shot today.
Yeah.
That's influenced by what happens in the day.
Yeah, it's more about thinking about layering. It's more about thinking like I feel I want to get too close to people today. So like sometimes I feel like tired because like layering is tiring. You have to move a lot. You have to be like very aware.
If you're feeling energetic, the layering is more possible.
But sometimes I'm just lazy and just take the 50. You know, I feel like it's more compressed and and also it depends on how much compression I want in the scene as well. Sometimes when you're working on 28, everything is pushed too far back. So I think okay, maybe it's 50 is better because the compression helps to think all the things, all the different layers. Yeah.
So it just shows how important it is to know your lenses and know your focus.
Yeah, that's why you should prime.
Yeah,
because, I know my focal length.
Yeah, you stick to it, you know. Have you been sat there licking yourself the whole time?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
You had a cat between your legs. Didn't even know you were there, mate. Straight over.
So.
Huh? They asked me to delete the picture.
Did they?
Yeah, and I deleted. No problem, man. I like a lot the picture.
Yeah. but it was obviously he wanted to see it as well, or did you volunteer to show him?
No, I show him.
So you volunteered, and he said,
because he feels like I see that the people is like kind of like wondering like what the fuck, like I'm a spy or whatever. I'd rather be reading erase the picture than they have it like a bad day. They're wondering about what the guy is gonna do with the picture. They show the picture, and then the person says, well, okay, I want you to erase it. I do it right away. Like I can live without a picture. But I prefer me to raise a picture that someone have in my
Yeah,
bag.
you can walk off on a good day in a good
All
mood
the
as
time
well.
it's my rule. It's a kind of always be nice, be nice, and the people is more important than the pictures.
Yeah,
all
of
the
course,
time.
yeah.
All the time. All the
How
time.
important is colour over black and white? Is a black and white layered image more difficult to achieve?
Absolutely. No. I think black and white is a little bit easier to achieve because if you have someone using a distracting color, like a very let's say yellow, red, these colors that catch the attention, and it's a place, it's not a good placement. Like let's say your subject is wearing red and you make a layer shot, perfect. But if there's someone who is more in the background and is wearing red, you lost it. You lost it.
So black and white's easier.
Yeah, it's easier. Yeah, for me, I would say so.
But it's a good way of if you shot black and white for layers, it's a good way of learning how to break a scene down, isn't it?
I mean, I shoot for a long time just in black and white to learn a lot about composition. Because it's easier to see lines and shapes and the figure-ground relationship in black and white and in color. But now, for the last 4 months, I've been studying a lot color theory to apply to my photography because I want to do more documentary stuff now. And I think I want to document life in color. I think.
You seem to be growing rather fast.
Huh?
You're growing.
Fuck yeah.
I'm going down the step. When I see what he's running over to, I can see what he's going to shoot. But seems a lot more effort. A lot harder to see the composition, and a lot more variables to go wrong, and a lot more energy to get there quick because he's shooting with a 24mm equivalent lens. So yeah, it's inspiring. But when I was watching, we were having a coffee earlier, and this is on charge, watching the way he shoots and how free he moves and how his confidence is such a big part of being able to go over to these people, because he knows that if anything goes wrong, he knows how he can diffuse it. I think he said to me earlier he's only ever had one in the couple of years he's been doing it, he's only had one person be upset with him, so that's good. But he's got the confidence to sort of say, look, there's the photograph, do you want me to delete it? No problem, have a good day and walk on. So that's a massive factor in being able to be so close to people, because it's not like a lot of street photographers will stand there, shoot from the hip sort of things, you're hiding your camera, you're doing it discreetly, it looks really shifty, and in a lot of ways it looks kind of dodgy that you're taking pictures on the sly. Whereas he's with the wide angle lens, he's straight over there.
Good. Yeah. You got it.
Good?
I think so. Good. I like it.
Oh, I love the foot. I love the foot. Oh, you clever kid.
Great. I fucking.
Yeah, clever. Very good. The foot that was going past the background there. Brilliant. Pushing one of them carts.
Please.
Yes.
Oh, no.
He looks good. He looks good.
Great frame filler. You going for this one? Sorry.
Oh, there's a picture. Look at that. Look at that. How did that come out? Because
That's a weird question.
But he was like straight away. You knew you were taking a picture as soon as you brought your camera up. He was.
Yeah. But that's why I work away right away. I
Yeah.
mean, he seemed a little bit pissed off, but he didn't ask to raise picture or
No,
anything.
but you were facing away from him, making sure your camera settings were ready,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
turn
But actually,
around.
what it got my eye, it wasn't just the scene itself. It was the red thing behind the guy. Because it guides your eye
Yeah,
towards
red's
the guy.
important,
Red's important.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a very attractive color, so you have to be always careful about the red color because it attracts too much attention. So you have to put it very carefully. The red color is very hard to work with.
As soon as you put your camera to the eye, the red is the first thing you're going to be drawn to, I guess, and then you try and
But
balance
the
from
picture,
that.
the people who are then watching the picture, the red color is going to be one of the
Yeah,
first things the people is going to be, how you say,
Drawn to.
join to.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. Cracking shot though. Nice. Yeah,
Thank you, man.
Very nice.
I'm ready. Thank you, man.
The difference in the photograph that you took and the photograph I took, because obviously I shot it with a completely different idea in mind. Not necessarily just the lens, but you're obviously going for the layered, and I went for the more structured, sort of boring, I suppose. So you're going for the more interaction and the more depth to the image, if you will.
Yeah.
Because your photograph looks completely different to mine, not just because I suppose the intent is so obviously different, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we're looking for different things. For me,
Yeah,
I
same
really
scene,
want to
completely different
document
things.
a little bit about life. So
Yeah.
if you see people like throwing things around, I try to get a shot. But here the picture works because the colors, there's no color that stands out so much. So it's almost like a black and white
It
shot.
was yellow and black that drew me to it,
Yeah.
yeah, straight away.
Yeah.
The crosses on the bags, yeah.
I think I've
See,
got
that's
a shot
probably
like yours.
That's probably the first shot that you've taken. I mean, I've seen you take a few that I've said, oh, I bet that's a good one.
No.
But when he did that, I was like, and you're seeing you there, that's the bastard there.
Yeah, the bastard.
That's
Right,
the
I
shot
know.
that I knew.
But you see, I watched the scene. I found it really boring to like that. So then I give some angle.
Yeah.
A diagonal there. And also, I try to keep the red in
the
there.
red out, yeah.
Because you have not the red out, because you have some green. So then it's complementary.
more interest.
Yeah, give more interest.
You get the
into it.
balance
Yeah,
there as well.
the balance.
If the red
yeah.
was on its own, then you try and minimalise it, because there's
Yeah.
green there, it complements it a bit. Yeah.
Watching Eduardo building a composition and working a scene was one of the most important lessons in my street photography journey. Not just seeing the difference in focal length, but his whole approach to finding an interesting scene really opened my eyes. I even got a layered shot myself in this fantastic cafe we stopped at. I'd never have seen this photograph if it wasn't for Eduardo's influence.